So I recently got these Govee permanent outdoor lights. This is the second version, so they're a little more updated than the previous model. We're gonna get brighter lights, and we're also gonna get true white LED lights on this one. I did get these myself, and in this video, we're gonna be doing an unboxing and installing them, and then just going over all the features that you guys get with these. So we did get the 100-foot option here, and we're gonna just get straight into the unboxing and see what all we get. All right, so immediately we get all of the paperwork, the user manuals, and most importantly, the quick start guide. So this is gonna show you how the segments are separated, and they also give you recommendations on how to install them. So we get a bunch of boxes inside of this box, it looks like. So that's 1, 2, then we also get this box. So let's go ahead and see what comes inside of these. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that these are the lights. And they come nicely packaged. It doesn't look like a giant knot. And we do get a built-in adhesive strip there. What I was curious was if we're gonna be able to screw these in. So I guess we'll figure that out in just a little. But basically you guys get these segments here that you guys could separate. So that's how you guys could really customize these. And I just noticed these look like the brackets that you guys could screw in to hold them up without using adhesive. So that would make it a more permanent install. So this box is gonna be the exact same as what we just looked at. Now let's see what comes inside of this box. And the main reason why I got this brand was because I already have a bunch of Govee lights inside of my house, and they have a really cool app that lets you customize these. So that's why I specifically went with the Govees. Here's gonna be our power supply. Looks like a pretty big brick here. I don't see a way to mount this up on a wall, so that'll probably have to stay on the ground. But we do have the power button here that's gonna power everything, and you guys do get an adhesive pad there. So something I always wondered was if you didn't want lights in a certain area and you wanted to get up to the second floor, this is how you guys would extend it. So this is just a power wire. It's gonna go straight from one end of the lights. You'll have a blank end, and then you guys will be able to attach it back to lights at the top, wherever you want. So hopefully that makes sense, but I think that's a really cool design, and it seems like these could be replaceable as well. So if you guys have a problem with a segment, you don't have to replace the entire segment. So I think that's a pretty good design. So with that being said, I think it's about time to start installing these. I'll give you guys a pretty quick run through of how I do it, and then a time lapse, and then we'll get into all the modes and features. All right, so here's a quick time lapse of myself installing the lights. My wife was outside doing another project, so hopefully it wasn't too distracting, but overall the install is pretty easy. I will say the adhesive was very strong, so I was definitely impressed with the adhesive quality. At the very beginning, I was very adamant about using the brackets on every single light, and it was going fairly well at first, but then I noticed a lot of the screws just strip out. So because of that, installing the brackets became very time consuming. I literally would go through maybe 4 or 5 screws, and I was using the right tip and everything. So maybe if you guys install these with brackets, go ahead and grab your own screws. I think it would help tremendously. And then on the very end here, I wasn't really too sure what to do with the excess wire. I've seen some people cut and splice the wire, but I just went ahead and tucked it under because it's in an area of the house that you guys can't really see. All right, so next up is the fun part. We get to test out the lights, and I was really impressed with the brightness, and all of the settings are just so fun. And I really could probably make an entire video just for all of the settings and options that you guys get with these, because you guys can connect this to smart devices, so you could turn it on and off with just your voice. You guys could make your own light setup with the AI or the finger sketch, which I think is just crazy. We also have this thing called scenes, and that's probably my favorite tab, and it gives you a bunch of light settings that move around, and you guys have settings that are for specific holidays, certain events, and you guys could also link this up with music. So as you guys could imagine, during the winter, you guys could set up your own Christmas light show with these, which I think would be awesome and is something I might go ahead and do later. I do like that you guys could adjust the brightness very easily. So right now, since we're not super close to Halloween yet, I try to keep them a little bit more dim just so I don't annoy my neighbors, because these things are definitely bright. And after all of this, I actually still had 2 more strips of these lights. So what I'm thinking is I might use those extension wires to go up to the second story of my house, and I might be able to get most of the second story lit up as well, and I might just buy an extension and have it all connected. I think that would be really cool. I am recording this audio about a week later, So all the lights are still hanging up despite it being about 100 degrees outside here in Texas still. So the adhesive seems to be really holding up, and I think putting those brackets on the corners did really help as well. Of course, if you guys just want to do a solid color, that's definitely an option as well. Up at the very top, you guys could choose the exact color you want. And because of their new upgrades on this version, you guys have better white lights. So instead of using a bunch of colors to try and make a white light, it has its own separate bulb now. So during just everyday use, you guys don't have to have all the colors going on. You guys could just have this as house lighting that doesn't really stick out, but still provides a lot of light to the outside of your house. So overall, definitely a really cool product. Like I was saying, I got this myself, reviewed it myself, and so far we're loving it.